All right, so what happened in 1929? Over the course of 4 business days, Black Thursday, October 24th through Black Tuesday, October 29th, the Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped 305.85 points to 230.7 points, representing a 25% decrease. 1929 was the worst stock market crash in history as it fell 89% from its peak. It started September 4th and ended November 13th, 1929, so just over 2 months of decline. Over the next 10 years would be the Great Depression until 1939 when World War II started. I would say it would take 2 to 3 years to recover, or they transferred to the new system once they run out of options. Well, ISO 20022 is going to be going through its transition from November 2022 until November of 2025 when it's fully implemented in November 2025. So that's 3 years right there. That just tells me that maybe something big could happen in 2025. All right, so some people believe that crypto will skyrocket right after this massive crash this year in 2022. So we'll see what happens. If it does crash massively like this again in September through November, I'll be buying at the bottom. This is what smart money has been waiting for. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a price spike once the market hits the bottom from institutional money pouring in. If that doesn't happen, then I can see it taking months or years to recover. I've listened to some economists, and they've been saying stuff like this, like bear market rallies could happen multiple times over, a year or two. So we'll see what happens. I've also heard professionals mention 1 to 2 time frames, like I just said, like listening to economists. That just means more opportunities to make money when we buy at lower prices. The lady who had her near-death experience mentioned world banks on the verge of a collapse, so they transfer everyone over to crypto in 2024. That's about 2 years. What happened in 1968? The year 1968 remains one of the most tumultuous single years in history, marked by historic achievements, shocking assassinations, a much-hated war, and a spirit of rebellion that swept through the countries all over the world. On January 23rd of 1968, North Korea captured the Navy intelligence vessel USS Pueblo and its crew. North Korea held 83 crew members. All right, so then also the Vietnam War was going on, and then April 4th of 68, Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated after giving a sermon saying, "I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land." So, just for all you guys to keep your heads up, that if we do see a massive crash, that if we invest right and buy during the massive crash, we could see a promised land. We will get through this. Everything will be okay. All right, so then June 5th, Robert F. Kennedy was assassinated. November 5th, Nixon wins the White House. December 24th, Apollo 8 circled the moon 10 times. These are all the major things that happened in 1968. All right, so possible meanings from the Mr. Poole tweet, 1929 and 1968. All right, so maybe a 1929 stock market crash that led to the Depression, followed by someone significant taking over the White House, or something goes to the moon, maybe crashed and stocks crypto to the moon, as some like to believe could happen, or a crash and someone takes over the White House. Let me know what you think. Or a crash, then, as Martin Luther King Jr. was saying, we go to the promised land afterwards, which is a happy place where dreams or hopes can come true, so nothing to be afraid of. After a potential crash, then perhaps we see the promised land. In the Bible, land was given to Abraham and his descendants according to the promise God made in the Bible, which was the promised land. In 1968 was the most serious economic crisis since the Great Depression. So this could also mean 1929, the Great Depression, or the major stock market crash, the 1968 gold rush from a weakening dollar. So gold and silver could also be good investments. And an economic crisis that happened in 1968. So 2022, another stock market crash and potential economic crisis. If it does crash hard, it just means the cheaper prices can bring an even greater transfer of wealth and make our future even brighter. If you don't sell, you just buy during the massive crash. So it'll be a great time to buy. Don't panic sell. All right, guys, thank you for watching and stay tuned for more videos.